Chapter 6.8 Fade Away. Retta and Juniper entered the Crystal Palace's rear, ascended the grated metal stairs, and entered backstage. The curtains were closed, and the audience shuffled to their seats. Thousands waited just behind the veil, anxiously anticipating Karada's show. "I thought there'd be bots," Retta said, and Juniper pointed up. Bots dangled overhead on steel strings. They hung like marionettes, ready to drop and dance when called. "I didn't expect them there. There's so many." "They're from Nexus. To be honest, I don't like them." "I don't blame you." The bots stared down from above, with wide-open eyes, watching Retta and Karada's every move like hanging angels. "They give me the creeps. Why did Nexus even bring bots here?" "It was my manager, Stella." "Sounds like a bad manager." "She isn't. It wasn't always like this." "What changed?" Karada grimaced, shifted uncomfortably, and hesitated before she opened up to Red. "Well..." A warmth fluttered in Red's heart. The baton glowed on her arm. She was reconnecting to Karada, and as she did, Karada's shadow shifted behind her. It grew and expanded. The shadow slithered and spread, like ink spilled across the floor. It rose, swallowed reality whole, and blotted out the light. The only thing Red saw was the baton's glow. This is new." She looked at her tattoo. "Baton, what's going on?" Of course, it didn't respond. Red looked up, and reality was replaced by a black void. All that remained was a door, with a plaque that read Karada and a number 2. A gentle humming stirred just beyond the door. Retta gripped its knob, readied herself, and turned. The door opened, and all Retta saw was perfect, black void. "But I hear the rain." Retta reached out her hand and felt the raindrops on her palm. There was definitely rain, but nothing that Red saw. She tested it once more, and again, the same result. "It's like I'm blind," Retta thought, and realized, like Karada, the same way it'd be in her mind. Retta crossed the threshold, entered the door, and shut her eyes. She felt the rain on her skin, heard it echo in the alley, and realized she was somewhere on Io. Pedestrians passed nearby, and the more Retta focused her hearing, the more faint apparitions appeared in her mind's eye. One distinct gate emerged from the crowd. High heels clicked against the glass ground, and rain bounced off the woman's umbrella. She walked with purpose, passed near Red, and paused by the source of the humming, a small girl, wet, soaked, and hidden in the alleyway. That woman was Stella. "You have a beautiful voice for a street performer." "Thank you, miss," the girl said, her young voice both shy and meek. Stella knelt to the girl's level, tapped their links, and transferred credits as a donation. She smiled and told Stella, "I appreciate it." "What's your name?" "Karada." "Karada. I like that name. I used to sing, like you." "Did you?" "Yes." "Where are you from?" "Here." "You are?" "Yes, but I was gone for a very long time." "Oh, I was going to say, I haven't heard your voice before." Karada pointed to her eyes and said, "I don't see much, but I'd never forget a voice like yours." Stella chuckled and told Karada, "And I wouldn't forget a beautiful voice like yours." "Thank you. I just like singing." "And you're good at it. It'd be a shame for you to only sing to these walls." "I've got an audience with you." Karada brimmed with excitement, even having a single person listen to her songs. "But a voice like yours should be heard." Stella tapped her nail against Karada's link and told her, "If you're interested, I'd like to help. I put my address in your link. You can find me there." "Thank you, miss." "Stella. You can call me Stella. I see a lot of myself in you." The rain around them intensified. It sounded like pinballs bouncing off the umbrella Stella held. Stella leaned closer to Karada, gently took her hand, and wrapped it around her umbrella. Here, take this. The storm will only get worse. But what about you? I'll be fine. Even without vision, Karada heard Stella smile. There was a comforting warmth in her voice that felt like home, like the roof over Karada's head that kept the rain at bay. Stella went back the way she came, with her heels clicking amidst the rain. The downpour intensified, and Karada was surrounded by the storm. Retta tried getting closer, but the rain kept her away. It grew heavier and heavier. It pelted her skin, soaked through her clothes, and sent shivers down her spine. She reached out for Karada, called out to her, but even her screams were muted by the storm's intensity. Then, it came to an abrupt end. The rain stopped. Everything was black. Retta blinked again, and the mindscape changed. Retta was no longer a specter observing from the outside. She became Karada. She felt what Karada felt. She felt the chair supporting her back and the safety of shelter that protected her from the rain. A warm hand brushed back her hair. Another hand wrapped a necklace around her neck. It cinched it snug, but not tight, against her skin. Here, Stella said behind Karada. Try this augment. It'll help to amplify your voice. Karada hummed, and her voice was fuller, richer. She sang, and her voice reverberated with vigor. Good, good. You'll learn to use your new voice, I promise, Stella said. We'll make sure everyone hears you. Retta felt the warmth of Stella's hand on Karada's shoulder, a hand that the longer it lingered, the colder it became. Karada's memories moved through time. Fleeting moments passed and went like words on the wind, but Stella's hand remained, and that hand on Karada's shoulder grew colder and colder as times changed. That was, until Karada smacked it away and raised her voice for the first time. I don't want to sing with the bots, Karada said. Oh? But you sing about them all the time, don't you, Juniper? They are replacing our people, Stella. Hey! Stella raised her voice, and Karada cowered in response. Don't raise your voice at me. Stella let out a sigh, angry at herself for losing her temper. I hate it too, she said. I do. She sat in front of Karada, eye to eye with her, and calmed herself. But what are we supposed to do? How will we get your voice heard? Stella's tone became softer. The outer reach is where you need to be. The inner colonies are dying, and Nexus runs the outer reach. Stella looked down at the ground, and then back up at Karada. I can't let you just fade away like another used and forgotten singer. We need to get you off this planet, Karada. We need to get you heard. Stella paused for a moment, and then said, I won't let what happened to me happen to you. Please, listen to me, Karada. She didn't respond. I'm doing what's best for you. She stood up, even if it doesn't feel like it. The sound of Stella's heels echoed further and further away as the memory faded to black again. Karada, Retta said in the memory as Juniper. The past is in the past. Stella might mean well, and that might make it harder, but you have to choose. What do you want to do for you? A soft glow from the baton grew brighter. Retta looked, and suddenly the tattoo flashed as bright as a solar flare. Retta was briefly blinded, and when her vision returned, Retta was back in reality, standing across from Karada. What happened? Retta wondered, unsure. Did I just live her memories through the baton? It felt so real, passed so fast, and in a flash she was back, as if nothing happened. Karada's link buzzed. She ran her fingers along it and felt the shifting, raised holobraille on her screen. I'm sorry, Red, but I have to go. It's all right. Do your thing, Retta said with a smile. Meet me here? After the show? Sure. Karada turned away and left Retta alone, backstage, with the bots. She looked at them, hanging overhead. So, this is how Nexus plans on creeping in. In the shadows, Red saw a silhouette sneak along the rafters beside the suspended bots. She squinted, looked at her link, and saw the green ping. It was Yana. Retta glanced over her shoulders, waved up to the rafters, and in a hushed whisper called out, "Yana! Yana! What are you doing?" Yana stopped, and from the rafters up above asked, "How do you know my name?" "I saved you from—" Luca was what Retta wanted to say, but Red realized Yana had been unconscious. She never knew they saved her. She didn't even know they brought her onto the junk dog. For all she knew, Red was a stranger. That explains why she left. "I'm Retta. I saved you from Luca." Yana appeared from the shadows of the rafters, barely enough to make eye contact. "What are you doing here?" "Destroying these bots from Luca." Retta thought. Now that's something I can get behind. As Juniper, Kurata entered her backstage suite. She knew Stella was waiting for her, but Stella wasn't as angry as Kurata expected. She didn't even care that Kurata was dressed as Juniper or late. If anything, Stella was excited. "We're so close, Kurata," Stella said, fixing her makeup in a mirror while Kurata walked by her, took off her wig, and prepared herself for the show. "This is your ticket to the outer reach." What's the matter? I don't want to use the bots. That's when Stella's excitement switched to anger. "Kurata, I need you to use the bots." "I don't want to." Stella raised her voice and spoke over Kurata. "No, you need to use the—" Kurata hummed a low tune in her throat, activating her necklace and the augment inside. It silenced Stella's voice, and despite Stella's lip movements, not a sound came out. "Let me speak," Kurata said with a decisive, calm voice. It betrayed the trembling fear she felt in her fingers, her nerves, and her gut that burned from talking back to Stella. "I do not want to use the bots." She let Stella speak again, and this time, Stella's even tone was more damning than her rage. "Those bots are going out. I can't control that now. So it's up to you if you perform or not. And I hope that you don't waste this opportunity that we both worked so hard for." Kurata didn't know what to say. A lump swelled in her throat, and a suffocating silence took control. She had no voice, no sound, and Stella turned away. She walked out of the room, left Kurata on her own, and Stella's silent, damning disappointment was more chilling than any rainstorm. The tears welled in Kurata's eyes. Her hands started to shake and tremble. She keeled over in her chair, let the tears fall, and held Juniper's wig limply in her hand. Am I making the right choice? She wondered, and felt her resolution dissolve. Is it worth losing Stella over one more show? All she had to do was perform. She did it 1,000,000 times before. From Yana's robotic wrist, a blade extended out, and a rounded pommel rested snugly in her palm. She gripped the knife, sawed the bot's metal wiring, and futilely tried to disconnect them. You want to help? Yana asked Retta as she continued sawing. I don't know how. Wait, who fixed your arm? Stella. Stella? From the Vicious Six? Long story, Yana said, sniffling her nose and continuing to saw. Retta noticed a bot jerk and thought a wire snapped. Keep it up! No, that wasn't me. The entire line of bots jolted in place. Oh no, Retta said and saw the conveyor track of bots move. Yana, get down from there! The bots moved, one by one, creating an impenetrable wall between Yana and Red. The curtains of the stage opened and Retta needed to move quickly. Stay there, she said, hiding off stage in the wings. Yana hid above in the rafters, and both of them watched as Kurata left the changing room, walked onto the stage, and waited for the bots to join her in her performance.